This weekend, all over the world, France invited everyone to experience the country's gastronomy. Goutte d'Oeil offers many the opportunity to experience French cuisine for the first time, perhaps, and only happens once a year. Food is an important part of diplomacy, as it can signal leaders from the two or more countries are on the same page of assessing issues. It says welcome for visiting leaders and usually signals a deal is done. Don't believe me? How did we know something was awry in the meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Vietnam? They missed lunch, and President Trump was headed back to the U.S. in no time. In my chat with the Attaché for Cooperation and Cultural Affairs of the French Consulate here in Lagos, Mr. Aurélien Sénacharive, we talk about how French gastronomy opens up a new perspective on France. Monsieur Aurélien Sénacharive, thank you for inviting us to one of the restaurants that will be hosting the Goût France this weekend. Talk to us about it.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you, Amarashi, for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Just to sum up briefly the Goût France operation, it's a worldwide French gastronomic operation which invites many restaurants all around the world to prepare for this, from 21st March to 24th March, a French dinner or a French-inspired dinner. The idea is that at the same moment on the planet, many people can enjoy the French gastronomy in different types of restaurants. So we are in Lagos. We have 5 restaurants involved in Lagos. Almost the same number of restaurants also in Abuja. We invite Nigerian people to come to those restaurants and discover, if they don't know, to discover, and if they already know, to reappreciate again what we can do with that kind of French food, French way of cooking.
The French are known for, the exquisite cuisine, and people are eager, to taste this. What would you recommend for someone who's just tasting French food for the first time?
For the first time, I think it's, from the south to the north of the France, we have many different recipes. It's so different from the, if you go to the Bretagne, if you go to the Alsace, if you go to the Provence, which is, by the way, the dedicated region for this edition of Goût France, Provence in the south of France, you can find many kind of cuisine. But like this, I'm thinking about ratatouille, which is a recipe with vegetables, very long cooked and very famous, very exclusive in most. In the south, you can also find, bouillabaisse, which is a mix of fishes that you mix, maybe 10 kinds of fishes. I'm not a cook, so I'm not very, but I know that it's very good. If you go to Bretagne, you can find some crepes, which is a specialty in Bretagne. It depends on the restaurant, but we have some filet de bœuf fillet has been often proposed, but in a French way, you cook it, because, meat is meat, But what makes the French gastronomy is not the meat, it's the sauce, it's the way you cook it, all the ingredients you put into it. And
when, of course, food is important when leaders sit to meet, so how important is food, to diplomacy? What's the correlation, and how does it help, in solving world problems?
Many countries in the world are proud of their gastronomy. It's a part of their identity also. It's not just food, it's what you eat is maybe what you are, and what you want to show to other people. So I'm thinking about, egusi soup, plantain, suya, I know Nigerian, when they travel, they want to show their food too. So it's that kind of thinking. It could be also like a diplomatic movement, because, diplomacy is when people are bringing together and speak instead of, making war or something. But when you are sharing a dinner, with friends or with colleagues or, with other diplomats, for example, when you share a dinner, you can share also ideas, It's like a good moment, like to be together at the same table and maybe to start to discuss.
The The French are also lovers of wine, and you make really good wine. What would be some of the kind of wines that people will be drinking this weekend as they celebrate Food France?
When we drink wine, sometimes we can talk a bit too much, you know. It makes a bit chatty sometimes to some people. The idea with the pairing, when it's to find the special wine for the special food. When you are a good cook and when you manage a good restaurant, on your menu you will have the food, and for every items you can find one which can be, you know, very good with it. So there is plenty wines in France. You know, plenty. In every part of the country you can find some vineyards, and every wine is very different from each other.
I'm curious, when President Macron hosts world leaders, what sort of meal is served and what sort of wine do they drink?
That's a good question. I would like to be invited to that kind. I don't know exactly, but I'm sure it's the best food possible. Because, you know,
with food and wine comes conversation at the table. So what sort of conversation surrounds French cuisine when it is presented à la table?
First, you know what? I discovered this with Nigerian friends. They told me, you French, you are very crazy, because when you are eating, you are talking about the food you are eating. You know?
Yeah.
So maybe 50% of the time we speak about the food. You know, we are eating right now.
So these are politics, religion, and some of these topics are off the table.
A lot of everything. We speak about politics. We speak about religion. We speak about human rights. You know, table is a perfect place, you know, to share ideas. And so yes, we take always this opportunity. That's why, you know, the French dinners are very long, sometimes 2-3 hours, you know, without moving, you know, just at the table, because it's not only the food, it's what you share at this table. New ideas, you know, your opinions on something which happens in the country or in an international wide. It's very long, very dynamic. We argue, we laugh, we discuss, and yeah, we share this at the table.
And you've had the opportunity of eating, well, you've eaten French food all your life, but now you're in Nigeria, where you've been for the past 4 years, still counting. You must have noticed a difference in the way, in different cuisines and the way people eat. So tell us about your observation.
Nigerians, they are eating fast. They are eating the food. They take the food, they eat it quite fast. They don't talk too much when they are eating. Then after they talk. You know? But when the food comes, you know, everybody is focused on the food. It's like an important moment. You know, people are focused on it. Then you Nigerian, you are eating, and then after, okay, we start to talk. So I do the same thing, you know, because if I am in Nigeria, I do as Nigerian does. And so I do the same thing. And it's quite different, you know. It's quite different. I like also that kind of thing. But Nigerian, they are, you know, people who love to interact. Nigerian people, they want to express their ideas. They want to, if they have some ideas, they don't want to keep it for themselves. You know? That's why I really like Nigeria also, because it's very possible to discuss with people. I mean, in a dinner or everywhere, you know. It's a very interesting culture for this, because people want to share ideas, concepts, projects, you know. It's not difficult to interact, to make good friends.
So having been here long enough, you must have tasted Nigerian food. Tell us your first experience, what you ate and what it was like.
After 2 days I arrived here, you know, I was really curious about Nigerian food. Everywhere I go, I want to try the gastronomy of the country.
What was the first meal you tried?
I think it was moi moi. Yes. Yes, I think so. With a friend, Nigerian friend. Okay.
How did you find it?
It's good. It's very good. It's surprising. You know? And of course, yeah, I took the jollof rice. Maybe not even 2 days after I arrived. I was curious about this famous jollof rice. It was very good, you know. Yes, very good. I don't like everything, of course, it's normal, but there is some items, I really like it. I really like.
Monsieur Sena Sharif, merci beaucoup et à bientôt. And that's Diplomatic Channel this week. Previous episodes can be found on youtube.com/channelsweb. I look forward to hearing from you. Reach out on @Amarachi_Bernie or @channelstv.com. I'll see you next time.